All right, this is Travis Wayne Goodsell again. There was a news cast last night, ABC4 News Utah, that I seem to have again influenced policy here in Utah, but this again is a backward step, even though they're promoting it as a forward step. If you don't know, I had been trying to petition the government here in Utah for a redress of grievances to get my kids back, who were taken away back in 1997 by the woman formerly called my wife. The government of Utah, under the direction of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, ordered my arrest. Yes, I was arrested for petitioning for a redress of grievances. I was arrested, charged as a terroristic threat, sent to the state hospital as a mentally ill person, forced on drugs, given a diagnosis that is internationally banned. Internationally banned because Russia was using it back in the 60s to lock away from society opponents of the Russian government. And so the international community band together and said, no, this diagnosis is not acceptable. And Utah nevertheless used it to lock me away, just as Russia did. And by miracle, I got out. And I'm living here, doing my videos now. But this place, I've been having to handle Valley Behavioral Health, North Valley specifically, because I was first down in Valley Plaza downtown, which is assisted living for mentally ill, and my therapist at North Valley said that I don't need therapy, and she canceled my therapy. And so I then got approved for disability because of my situation that I was forced in, and I had received a Medicaid reimbursement for the past 7 years, and was looking for a place to live out of Valley Plaza, out in the community again. I had just missed it by seconds. Another couple had beat me to the apartment that I was going to get, and as a result, the people at Valley Plaza sent me here, out in West Valley. This was supposed to be independent living, and Valley does not own these apartments, but they work with Danville Development to place people into these housing developments that Danville owns and operates, and it's a great deal for Danville because they get to own the property and everybody pays them for it. So HUD gives them money and we give them the discounted rental price. And Valley does not do anything other than place us in these apartments exclusively for Danville. And so, because typically there's supposed to be Valley patients living here, Valley has tried to step into this apartment after I was living here for a year to try to change this place into assisted living, having apartment inspections and other meetings and other assistance, as they would call it. But they're not supposed to. They're supposed to stay away. This is independent living. We're supposed to be working on transitioning into society. That was the intention, because I was found not to have a need for therapy. No duh. And so I've been fighting with it and had to call the cops, and then had to call the cops on the cops. and it became a big mess here in West Valley City. Again, a new guy was sent in by Valley, and he was claiming that this was now independent living, but he was saying that he was under orders to inspect my apartment. And I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I again appealed to the police over the police, because I still don't trust the police, because there's been no resolution. And so I had to call internal affairs at the West Valley City Police to again file another complaint pointing out that Valley is still trying to traffic me, because that's what it is. I am no longer under therapy and treatment of North Valley. And so for them to try to impose themselves and their services on me, to put me back into assisted living when I'm out, I'm free, that's human trafficking, and that's a serious crime. And so, yeah, the police are not handling it properly and are not punishing Valley, because, oh, well, what will all the mentally ill people do if Valley is punished? Well, they can go to a medical doctor. And we need to have medical doctors stop listening to pharmaceutical companies and actually do their own work, which is a hard science, not a soft pseudoscience of psychiatry. Nevertheless, Utah has, South Salt Lake, under Mayor Biskupski, has implemented a new program, and that's what I'm going to play for you here as I make comments. So understand what's going on. We have mentally ill, and then we have an overabundance. There's a housing shortage. And Valley originally intended to have a progression out of stabilization is what they call it here in the video. And notice the wording that they use. If you pay attention to the wording they use, you get an understanding of how hateful they are. That they hate the mentally ill. They talk directly, oh, we want to give help and services. But no, listen very carefully, and I'll point it out if you can't catch it. See, 30. That's all they're doing is for 30. There's millions here in Utah that are in need of this kind of help. See, wait a minute. Is it for mentally ill or is it for homeless? Again, they're trying to merge homelessness as a mental illness. It has nothing to do with the economy of Utah. It has nothing to do with the government not regulating businesses in Utah. They automatically connect homelessness to mental illness. If you didn't catch that, I just pointed it out for you.
Volunteers of America, Assertive Community Treatment provides treatment.
Notice the gay flag, the LGBTQ flag. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Mayor Biskupski is not Mormon, and she's a defender of LGBTQ. But notice what they're also doing by showing this picture with the LGBTQ flag. If you haven't caught it, they're associating homelessness and mental illness together. Now guess who they're throwing into the mix? LGBTQ as homeless and mentally ill. Utah hates gays. It's that simple. So this is a symbol of that hatred, even though they're putting the flag out here. But the ABC4 News Utah is making sure to give you the connection subtly here without directly stating it.
Those living with mental illness.
Notice that the kid was working off a computer program. They don't provide that here in this independent living facility. They need to, because there are people who keep coming to me saying, hey, can you look this up for me? We're trying to find this address, we're trying to find this and that, and the contact information, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this place needs a computer system out there in the lobby for anybody in this building to utilize and access. Because don't they want us to get back out into the community? If they did, they would provide it for us, because businesses require online applications now. Even the McDonald's, I guess, even requires an online application form to submit through the online. And you need to be able to communicate through an email system, because employment companies, the bosses want to communicate while you're at home, so they need to contact you through email. And to give out a mass letter to all the employees. And you also need to have transportation, but that's another problem that is faced by those who are mentally ill, is that they receive in welfare, which is for those who are homeless and in poverty and without a job, less than minimum wage. Now that's the federal government problem, that they are trying to deter, as they call it, those without a job from milking the system. But we're talking about disabled persons, permanently mentally disabled. And though I'm not one of them, I'm still in the system as if I were, and I can't get out. I'm stuck. And likewise are those with mental illnesses stuck in the system, because we're not given the money necessary to get out and improve our conditions. We're being held back. And so this is another abusive problem that Utah will not deal with. They will not help the mentally ill. And this token thing, tokens are not evidence of non-hatred. You see people trying to say that they're not racist, and they end up saying, I have a black friend. Well, that's a token. That doesn't prove that you're not racist. And so same with hatred over those who are mentally ill. Just because you provide 30 opportunities in a housing program when there's millions, that's a token, and that's not good enough. And so, yeah, you'll notice the check that'll be shown as $112,000, but that's not for the homeless. That's not for the mentally ill that are in this housing program. It goes to the people running it. And so the mentally ill are being trafficked here. This is a human trafficking news report, if you haven't caught on.
Is exactly the type of
See, she was using political speech, maximizing outcomes and political dollars. See, she's paying people to work, but not the people who they're supposed to be helping get work, get out into the community. Notice that.
the ACT program, $112,000 to help
So if it costs $100,000 for 30 people, and there are millions, how much money would that then require to actually help all of the mentally ill just in the state of Utah. Exactly. Token does not mean innocence.
I'm finding affordable housing.
See, now they're calling this part treatment. They're calling giving housing to mentally ill persons treatment. I can't express my anger and frustration over that.
This program can not only get the counseling.
See, they merged treatment as counseling for their mental illness and also housing. And if you're not familiar with psychiatry, they sit you on a chair. You know, the old school method was you lie down on a little couch chair and you spill your emotions to a psychiatrist who sits in their chair and goes, oh, very interesting. And then after an hour, your time is up and you have to pay, you know, a couple $100 for an hour of service to the psychiatrist. And then you come back week after week, again going through the same process, just spilling your feelings to a psychiatrist. Never curing you of your mental illness, because they claim there is no cure. So then why are we bothering to go talk with somebody about our feelings? Again, it's all a scam operation. Psychiatry is a fraud. It is a fraudulent business. And that's a crime, to be a fraudulent business. But the state of Utah has given it authority in the courtrooms. There's been changes to the law here in Utah back in 2018 regarding those who get arrested who have a history of mental illness. And that was also the intention, that if I were to ever get out, they would be able to put me back into the system whenever they wanted to. And that's a violation of the Constitution in regards to my right to liberty. But regardless, this is a pure evil that's going on here. And despite Mayor Biskupski claiming to be anti-Republican, anti-church of Utah, and a defender of those who are poor, those who are LGBT, those who are minorities, those who are mentally ill, she's a fraud. Sorry, she's a fraud.
It's assertive in the way that we don't give up on people.
Yeah, 30 people is not trying. You do or you do not. There is no try. And so what she's talking about here is, oh, we have a business that we need to get paid for. And this is great because we now have better job security. She's focused on her life and her employees. She's not interested in the mentally ill, the 30 people. But they will make these 30 people the test example, and they'll try to get at least one of those people to be the bright shining beacon of how perfect this system will be. That's what they did with Operation Rio Grande, and that was a complete disaster.
We tend to approach people.
Eliminate barriers? Eliminate barriers, remove the government, remove the economy from the equation. That's the barrier. God. See, self-reliance. Again, they want people out of their system so that they don't get paid, but they don't want to not get paid. And it's sort of a catch-22. They talk about how they want to give mentally ill back into society to be self-reliant, but it's all a fraud. They need money. They need a job. And if they restored all the mentally ill back into society, guess what? They don't have a job. They don't get money anymore. This is a fraud that's going on.
Recent 2018 study by Aetna Health states the ACT program.
Oh, a study. Uh-huh. Yeah. I can surely trust the study that was probably paid for by a group wanting this to go their way. But also remember, Trump wants to do away with HUD subsidies. You've forgotten about that? Yeah, so this program is going to be for naught once Trump gets his way and takes it away from the mentally ill. So, yeah, this is going to be a worthless project in the near future here.
Visits and people being institutionalized.
Disruptions from patients within the program. Oh my God. Need it the most. How do you determine 30 people out of millions as the ones needing it the most? They've selected people that don't really have a mental illness, but have been labeled with one, and they didn't select me, notice. They've already got me fixed in here, but they're going to get other people that are also easily pliable to go back into society. So this is a scam that they're going to pull on you guys, and they're going to tout it as, oh, we need more funding because, see, we got one token person back into society. It works.
Have to apply for multiple apartments.
See, this is for people like me who tried to get an apartment but missed, and so they put me out here. There are other people trying to get apartments. There's a housing shortage. This isn't a situation where they can train mentally ill patients to get into apartments out in society. Remember, we get paid less than minimum wage. That's less than the amount of rent for an apartment. That's right. The rental costs here in Utah are more than what the mentally ill get per month in welfare. This is not just a housing crisis in Utah. This is a human rights crisis in Utah. So this is an atrocity that's going on here as they try to cover up the real problem, which is Utah. The problem is not the mentally ill not able to get opportunities. It's the government that's the cause. And the government is controlled by the church. Okay, oh, wait a minute. This fall. Oh, isn't that convenient? Perfect timing. Fall. That'll be after Trump destroys the insurance and the housing or the welfare for everybody. Yeah, great timing, guys. Way to pay attention to what's going on around you. All right, we're done with this. I hope you got the point.